Happy Saturday afternoon, rainy, dreary, nasty day, but it's a perfect day to make some crafts. Of course, that's what I'm doing. So today I want to show you this domino project because making dominoes is one of my favorite crafts that I've done for many, many years. Many of you may already own a domino that I made for you as a Christmas craft. I love this one. Isn't that cute? So what I'm talking about is just generic dominoes that you buy at the store. I'm always on the hunt for a good deal for blank dominoes like this. They have them pretty cheap in the toy stores right now, like at Farm and Fleet and stuff. So what I like to do is stamp on them and color them in and make them into little ornaments or magnets or pins. Sometimes you can glue a push pin to the back and put it into corkboard in the offices, or you can hang them, put ribbons on or hangers and hang them. I like to buy these jewelry bales and glue them onto the domino so that you have a place to hang your ribbon. Can you see that okay? So it adds like a little hook onto it. And whenever you use like a jewelry bale onto the slick domino, I use E6000 glue because it is very strong. You could use super glue, whatever you have on hand, but it's got to be able to bond to these slippery dominoes. So let's talk about making them. When you have a blank domino like this, they're super slick and not many inks will stay. You could stamp on them and it would wipe right off again. So you want something that's going to have some holding power, and that means you have to use an ink called StazOn. StazOn is made for every surface. It's made for slick and permanent surfaces. And when you are going to stamp with StazOn, like for example, I want to stamp this cute little candy cane onto it. StazOn is such a permanent ink. This is not like a kid ink, really. Not unless you have a kid who's very crafty. And when you put it on, it's going to be slippery. It's easy to slide. So I would have a few dominoes to practice on. And then once it's down, it's down. Don't slide it around. I do kind of rock it back and forth just a little bit because I want to be sure that I got all the surfaces. And you can see it kind of suction to it. But there you go. Isn't that neat? And so when you have this done, you can heat set it with a heating tool or just let it dry for a few minutes. So I'm just going to set that up here to dry. The other thing is you may have noticed for this one, for example, when I stamped it in black, but I colored it over in green. If I had a green StazOn pad, I could just stamp the image in green. But a lot of these images are multicolored, and so you want to be able to stamp them and then color them in a little bit. That's tricky with StazOn too, because the permanent pens that I use to make my permanent pictures will lift sometimes. So let me just show you like coloring. I use Sharpies a lot. Sharpies are a great option whenever you have something that you're coloring in. I try not to pick up the black. It will smear a little bit. Ta-da! Now the other thing about coloring is, so for example, like you can see like right in there, I have some black. My Sharpie will pick that black up and it may muddy the picture a little bit. So when you're coloring, try really hard to stay inside the lines. And I wanted to show you too, like if you have a big area you're coloring, like this reindeer's head, it is really easy to get streaks. See the streaks? I tried to fix them, and then it made it look like he had some sort of skin condition or something. So when I color these large spaces, I try to either go in, like in this little Murphy, I did little circles of Sharpie, and you can kind of see my pen strokes, but he looks curly, which is how he looks in real life, so it really worked out. But you wouldn't necessarily want that on like on your reindeer, but here I did one kind of in circles a little bit. Can you see my pen strokes? It's not really very noticeable when it's hanging on a tree or, whatever. So it's really noticeable, like, like if I'm going to do this cat, and I want to do the first I do the tail, and then when I do the body, it really does help to do long strokes like this. So that you don't get the little bitty pen strokes all over the place. All right. The other option is using stickles, which if you're a glitter glue freak like me, stickles is a lot of fun. When you put them on, you will need to put them on kind of thickly within the lines, and you will have to let them dry for a long time. So set them aside somewhere. That's always tricky in my house with the animals running around. But that sometimes I'll do a bunch of them with glitter glue and then set those aside to dry. Let's see, what else? Okay, yeah, I want to show you this one. So this one I showed you, I stamped it in black and I colored this one in already. When you're going to color over black, let me just show you, like if I just color that, it picks the black ink up and it lifts it to where then the black is just gone. And so the idea with this one, when you color it, is to dot. And then your tree will be colored in, but it won't show pen strokes and you won't lift the black ink. Just like this. And then if you wanted, so that looks pretty good. And then if you want to make it dimensional, you have to use 2 different colors of ink or whatever. I have a lot of Sharpies, so I own like every color you can imagine. I'm always on the hunt for Sharpie deals, especially during the back to school time. They seem to be really popular. Okay, this one looks a little different. You may have noticed it's all colored in. How the heck do you do that, right? So there's a couple of ways to do this. One of them is these little cubes of pigment inks that you can buy in a lot of different colors. These are pigments. Pigment inks are the kind that are super wet. They do not dry very fast. And you can use a sponge dauber or a Q-tip or something, and you can ink your image. So like here I used like a little sponge to go around it and then put the ink on. When you do this ink is not permanent. You would have to heat set it and then spray it with some sort of varnish or something just so it doesn't wipe off later. So pigment inks will work for some coloring like the background, but just know that you're going to have to finish it because otherwise it'll just wipe off. All right, what else do I want to show you? Okay, the other things I want to show you are ways to finish. Besides, we have the jewelry bales where you make an ornament and hang. Another option, another thing is, everybody's got ribbons. So there is the double-sided tape that you can buy. A lot of times it's red. It's super sticky. And you can take this tape and you can wrap it around the edge of your domino. And then when you peel the liner off, it'll be super sticky. And you can use any kind of ribbons to, put on that adhesive and wrap around. And then it'll be like, decorated a little bit for Christmas. I was going to wrap this one in this polka dotted black. I thought that would be really neat. I think that's really cute. It makes a more finished look if you like that. And then, even if you have one of the little jewelry bales on and you want to put a trim or something around the edge, it's not in the way. Let's see. Isn't that cute? I really like some of the pom-pom trims that they have. I think those would look really nice on here too. So ribbons are an option. And then sometimes I just leave them blank though. They're nice, just blank. I think that is everything. Oh, I want to show you magnets. So this is just something I picked up at Walmart, dirt cheap. There's a lot of magnet in here. It's just the sheet of magnet. Sometimes I use the register vent covers because they're magnetized and they're really big. They're the size of a register vent, and you can cut them down into pieces and use them for projects like this. And so it's sticky on one side. You peel it off, stick it to your magnet, or stick it to your domino, and then you have a magnet for your refrigerator. I have several of these that I put out at Christmas time, and I just think they look kind of fun. You could do them sideways and put a Merry Christmas on there or something. And so you can kind of see there's a lot of options here. So I hope you like it and hope you try it. Bye-bye.